And welcome back to the show, Israel Adesanya. Israel, how are you?
I'm gravy. What's up, man?
Let's get to it. UFC 236, you're going to be fighting in an interim title bout against Kelvin Gastelum. A lot of different ways I'd like to parse this. I guess the first one is this. Your feelings about it being an interim title. Where are you on that?
I've said this on record, Luke. Fuck the belt. I don't give a fuck about the belt. It's just a trinket you collect along the way. So at least when it's said and done, I can say I was interim champion, and I can say I was the unified champion as well. So everything just makes for the story. It makes a good story. So I'm not really fussed about it. Interim, real. It's just just a belt.
Then again, you did have that video on social media this week, a couple days ago, where it was a belt,
Yeah,
I
with the
guess,
old
from
belt.
UFC 221. It is alluring for you, obviously.
Yeah, it looks good. I say it looks good on black skin. You see, I wear gold all the time, so I collect gold like a magpie.
What's a magpie?
A magpie is a bird that likes to collect shiny things. It's a black bird. Is it black, Charlotte?
Black and white,
Black and white. It's a black and white bird. So, yeah,
and they like shiny things.
and they like shiny things.
All right, so you're like a magpie. Learn something new every day, I suppose. Kelvin Gastelum, a little bit here. He has an interesting style, right? When you think of him as a fighter, if you had to classify his style, how would you do it?
Hmm. Kelvin Gastelum. There's many ways I can classify his style. I like it. He's improved. One thing I can say is he's improved over the his run in the UFC from being an Ultimate Fighter and now being a contender. His style, it's very Mexican. If honest, I could say it's very Mexican. Like you have the Mexican style of boxing. He has a Mexican style of MMA and like a smart Mexican style. He doesn't just brawl or look for wars. He's calculated with the way he approaches the game. But again, like I said, they haven't fought anyone like me. They haven't seen anyone like me, and it's the same rhetoric. But when I say it, it's not just talk or like me reading out like out a statement. I'm speaking it because it's facts. None of them have seen anyone like me. So, yeah, I look forward to this test. And I even think I said he was going to lose to Robert Whitaker, and I was going to stare down Robert Whitaker in the octagon. But I think he's the easier fight out of the both of them. So I'd rather get this one out the way and then take on Robert the next.
So you have to imagine. Let's start with his striking. When you mentioned it's a Mexican style, what does that mean? Boxing heavy, kind of in your face, forward pressure, volume punching. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, boxing heavy. He likes to use his hands. Kicks, yeah, he's not so good with kicks. Maybe he can get better at low kicks. Good tip for Kelvin. Work on your low kicks. Um, but yeah, very boxing heavy. Lucha Libre. I know he can wrestle. He's probably some NCAA something from America. I don't know. He's 10 planet black belt. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but the Mexican style, I just feel the way he moves, the way he feints, the way he even has like a bit of a karate thing to him lately. I've noticed in his last fights. Maybe that's how he starts off. I don't know if it's him and Cejudo because I know they're like buddies, so they've kind of got this karate. They might have some kind of secret weapon they're doing with some karate or some taekwondo or whatever because of the way they stand when they start the fight. But then with Cejudo, he's able to keep that going through the whole fight. With Gastelum, he kind of fades. He kind of fades and goes back to his natural movement when he stops faking the karate shit. So, but yeah, it's a good puzzle to solve, and I can't wait. Like this is what I do. I solve puzzles every single time, and even after the last game was probably my hardest fight I had to do. Saying that in hindsight because it wasn't really about fighting Anderson Silva for me. It was about fighting my younger self. In a way, like I was fighting Superman. So it wasn't really about fighting Silva. It was like fighting me, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's a weird paradox, but yeah. So I've done that. Everything else is easy.
How validating of a win is it? I mean, forget the belt for a second. I mean, for you, in terms of the puzzle that you have to solve here, you're saying your last one was harder, but let's sort of talk about the wider perspective. There's the boxing issue, and as you alluded to, he does have some credible wrestling in that division as well. So you get the win over him. What does that say about you?
It says what I mean. For me, it's just it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything because it's beating another warrior from another part of the world, you know. But after I beat him, guess what? They're gonna still say the same shit. Oh, he ain't fought this guy yet, or he hasn't fought this yet. He hasn't When I get the belt, they'll say the same thing. And the next fight, when I defend the belt multiple times, they'll keep talking shit. So, yeah, what does it say about me? It could say a lot. It could say not many. So, yeah, I just want to get this one done and keep progressing forward, keep moving forward with the game. But yeah, it'll put some people on notice. I'll probably get some new fans when I beat him, and people are like, okay, fine, I'm on the bandwagon now. He beat Kelvin, but also it could. I don't care. I don't care what they say. I just want to keep fighting people and winning.
Okay, but let's go back to the wrestling for a second. How does his wrestling, in your mind, differ from any opponent you faced to date? So the two guys who really sort of tried to do that with you, Brett Tavares a little bit, but more Vittori and Wilkinson. Where is not merely level, but sort of style-wise when you
And Brunson as well. Brunson tried.
Brunson too, yeah.
Tried. Yeah, but he was weak as shit. And yeah, with him, I feel he is going to be one of the hardest opponents I've faced lately. Not the hardest, but one of the hardest because of the troubles that he presents. But his wrestling, I haven't seen too much of it lately because he's been knocking everyone out. He's been standing and banging. But like 2 seconds, I'll say bye to my mom real quick.
Yeah.
And take over.
Oh, I can't finish your interview.
Yeah, of course.
Don't drive while you're.
I won't. I promise. Love you. Bye, mom. Say bye.
Bye, Mrs. Adesanya.
And then, yeah. So with him, I think he'll have to go back to his wrestling definitely because he knows everyone else has failed. Everyone else has failed with me. But let me think. Let me ponder on this a little bit more. The wrestling starts before you even engage in the clinch. I've said this already, and this is one thing people don't know. The wrestling begins on the feet with the stand-up. And, I mean, you look at our stats. I mean, I've got like a 9-inch reach on them. I think I've got like a 7-inch height advantage, something crazy. So I tower over him. So for him to even get close to clinch me, he has to get past my striking. And yeah, and I think even if he wants to try and wrestle straight away, he might try and bum rush me and wrestle straight away. But they feel uncomfortable. Like, even they know it. There's a point in the Brad Tavares fight where I scrambled his brain, and it was fun, like a little sequence, because I feint, and I forced him to throw his left hand because he was southpaw. Things like that. I make them second guess themselves, and I feel like I'm gonna do that with Kelvin. Even if he thinks he wants to wrestle me, I feel like I'm gonna make him second guess himself. Excuse me. And then he's gonna panic, and then I'll just keep picking him off, and eventually he'll fall.
You know, I talked to your coach, Eugene Behrman, about something you just said, and since he said it to me, it has stuck in my brain like Gangnam Style, like an earworm, and I can't get it out. Namely, about feinting. He said that there's a gap in MMA, and what the reason why you guys in New Zealand are having such success, among other reasons, is that in MMA, people don't really take seriously how important feinting is, how essential it is, and why it's essential to success. I wonder if you could elaborate on that. When you look around the game, obviously you must share some of his vision as well. Why isn't feinting taken as seriously by everyone else?
So when I first started watching striking, even some of the quote unquote premier kickboxing organizations, or even some of the best kickboxers in the world, at the highest level, they don't feint. They don't show nothing. They all, even the Dutch style, as revolutionary as it was, and maybe in the late or mid 2000s, but they don't feint. They don't know how to give different looks, and it was shocking. So we're taking advantage of not just that, but a lot of other things you guys don't know. And hey, I got to give you credit, man. Your breakdown. Did someone else help you with that, or is it just you?
That was 100% me, hand to God. That was all by myself.
Round of applause for Luke. Fucking hell, yo, straight up. Like, the thing is, hold up, you're like you're shining light on some things, on certain things, but it's harder for you to know what we're doing because you're not in the camp. But you're shining light on some things, and it's like, he picked up on that. Okay. It's interesting. So and I'm sure the smart coaches will as well. The smart ones will know. But like, I was wondering, like, because I watched the wrestling one. The wrestling one was really good. It really showed my progression over time. But then this one, I was like, someone else is helping him. I'm sure, and you're like the face of it. But I'm impressed. I am very impressed, my man. Honestly,
Well, I'll
like
tell you,
that was.
I'll be honest. Most of the time, I can take footage and I can watch it once or twice, and more or less have an idea of what's happening. With that fight,
Yeah.
and I'm being dead serious, it may have taken 20 times before I even could get a beat on it. So I'll say this: it took way more research.
Man, even one of my last videos, I think, before the bell was just showing how close it was. Because a lot of people, as much I don't really care what people say, like at the end of the day, but when I see people saying, "Oh, that was a boring fight. Why did they get fight of the night?" I'm like, I've said this before. I could get fight of the night. You don't have to be beat up to get fight of the night. You don't have to be in a like a brawl and sock 'em, rock 'em, whatever to be in fight of the night. You can be in a technical fucking match, like of finesse, and still have fight of the night because it was entertaining. So that video, when I posted it, was just to show how close some of those strikes were. Because those weren't the only ones. There was some of them like literally just put a little shine on my lip, and he said I did the same thing with my toes on his lip. You know what I mean? So yeah, a little bit. And even if you listen to it, if you watch some of the fight on headphones, some of the kicks that miss, if you turn it up on your headphones, it sounds like a blade when I kick him and it misses. If it was anyone else, they'll get concussed, or even knocked out, flattened out. But you can hear when the wind just goes past it, just woof, like a fucking katana, and it's just those for me just make me like, whoa, that was close. I mean, it's not my fault that we're both good and one of us didn't suck enough that we can just fucking bam, 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 bam. We still had some of those moments, in the second round, he jabbed me twice. That made me, shake and bake. But yeah, that was a fun match to be in. And yeah, I can't remember what the question was, but I'm rambling now. Yeah.
It's okay. I'll bring it back on this one. You guys, it's the higher weight class. If there's two titles, the higher weight class gets the main event spot. You guys have the co-main event spot. Any reaction to that?
Oh, that's right, Max Holloway. Nah, Max Holloway, I think just because he's been in the company longer, he's on a longer win streak. I want to say a bigger name for now. I wouldn't say how do I quantify that? My stock is rising fast, man. So I mean, after this fight, I'll probably surpass him in stock. But and shout out to Max Holloway. He's another guy I love to watch, and I'm glad to be on this card with him. Look, if I could be the first fight of the night, I would take that spot, honestly. So then I can just sit back and watch the rest of the fights. Unfortunately, I can't now at this level, so I have to settle for being the co or the main event. So even him being above me doesn't really make a difference. I don't know. I'd rather be the first fight, early fight in the night, so I can just get it over with and enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, man. Well, here's the other part. 16 months. So you've got these 5 fights in what's going to have been 16 months. Dude, if you have a title in 16 months, interim or otherwise, I don't think I've even seen a rise like that in the UFC before. And that includes some great names. Part of this is just riding momentum, I get it, but is part of this at this point strategic to start setting these records?
We're not trying. Like, I don't chase the numbers, they chase me. I don't chase money, they chase me. Like, I love fighting. I love fighting at the end of the day. Fuck. Okay, we're cool. So it's just you and me right now. I'm gonna just say it. Like a guy like Conor McGregor, one thing I really appreciated when he first got in the game, and one thing why he inspired me was because his love for fighting, and eventually, I don't know and it just kind of became not just about fighting, but about the money and about selling numbers and breaking records, like you say, and pay-per-views and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I can't say because I don't know the guy that well, but one I don't even know the guy. But one thing I can say is, like, from what I see lately, from the way not the way he's training, but the way he's posting his trainings, I feel like he's kind of maybe getting back to that same mindset. It's about fighting at the end of the day. We're warriors, we're gladiators, we're modern day fucking badasses. A fighter walks in the room and everything, people are like, ooh, because everyone's trying to be a tough guy, but we don't have to do shit because we're tough guys, and everyone knows it. So I feel like he's getting back to that mindset of the younger Conor McGregor, who just loved to fight, who just wanted to be the best in the world and fuck everyone up. I just want to fuck everyone up. That's really what I want to. I'm not a fucking asshole or dick or anything unless they deserve it. But I just want to beat the best guys. I just want to fight and be remembered as the best who fought everybody and beat them. And then the money, the numbers, the records, they all chase me. So it's not really. There's a little bit of strategy to it, but I don't want to go too deep. I'll keep that with myself with the way I play the game. Because look, 16 months and I'm already like, I've headlined a couple of shows. And I'm on the way to the. I'm if not, I won't say I'm at the top yet, but like I just keep rising. Even when I'm at the top, I don't feel like I'm at the top. I keep rising. It just keeps. I want to have these moments, these key fights, and that's about it. So yeah, 16 months, 5 fights. Oh, not 16 months. How long was that? Like a year, 5 fights, 14 months. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
It'll be 16. Or sorry, it'll be 14, I should say, if you end up if things go your way in Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. So, fuck. I mean, who else? You know, I think Conor did like in 5 fights. He did, yeah. I think he did it around the same time, but
he had
did
the ACL tear.
Well, yeah, as well. It took a long time. That's why he did after Max Holloway. So yeah, but thing is, that's the thing. Like, one thing when I get that belt, is a guy I really want to rub it in his face because when Conor got his belt off Chad Mendes, because he's an Irish guy as well, and he was really hyped because he went over and watched it. And at the gym, he just came up to me and he's like, "Man, let's see how long it takes you to get your belt." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Nah, it's different. He's on his own journey. I'm on my own journey. Like, this is the beautiful thing about the sport. We're trying to get to the same place maybe, but we're on different paths." So when I get that belt and I get the next one off Rob, I'm going to remind him and be like, "Do you remember when you said that?" Because, you know, I'm petty like that. Super petty. And they don't even remember they said it probably. But yeah, it's not about me trying to be better than this person who's not even in my weight class or anything. I'm really just trying to just create great moments. Like I said, even on the Misha Tate one podcast, I talked about that photo at the end of the first round when Anderson's there and I hit him with the Rock Lee stance and I got my hand out like, "Come get some." That photo right there, I'm going to frame that. And that photo is just going to be iconic in martial arts history by the time I'm done with what I'm doing.
A couple more for you, and I'll let you run here. I know you got stuff to do. So the interesting part here, as I was looking up your name on Google, and it showed that Paulo Costa Bohashinya had said that they had offered him also the opportunity to fight Kelvin, which would be not uncommon, but that they gave it to you for a lot of reasons. But that he had indicated that you had initially turned it down, this fight with Kelvin. Is that true?
No, what? Hell no. I turned it down.
That's what he said, yeah, initially. And then they went back to you, and then they were like, "Oh, no, they gave it to you."
Hold up. Isn't he being scheduled to fight Yoel for how long?
Yes.
Exactly. So how the fuck would they even offer him a fight when he's already scheduled to fight Yoel and Yoel's not injured or anything?
He's headed to a Brazilian podcast.
Lying, Luke? See how they're fucking lying? Doesn't even matter anyway. Guys like that, him, Chris, they just trying to get some shine because the spotlight's on me right now, and I'm glistening. And when that gold's on me, it's gonna shine right into the eyes as well. Like I said, they can come, line up, and find out how overrated I am once I'm the champ. So yeah, I don't know. Like they at least maybe it might be lost in translation or some shit. But like, no, I didn't even leave Melbourne. I didn't leave Melbourne before they offered me that fight, and I was like, shit, I'm still in Melbourne. Let me go chill for a second, and then I'll take the fight. But then I was like, I think it was a day later. I was like, okay, fine, let's go. I get itchy knuckles really quick, and I was still kind of like not banged up. But I was just like, ugh. You know, after the fight, you have to deal with everything that goes with it, and you know, you're a little bit like, I think my eye was a little bit hurt from that jab, and then pee pulling and all that kind of shit. But yeah, I never turned it down, not even once. Why the fuck would I turn down the chance? I just said, look, is it for the interim belt? There was just, you know how negotiations go. So that's all I can say about that. Negotiations, you have to kind of, a lot of things happen. I'm still a fan of the UFC, but when I wasn't in the UFC and just being a fan, I used to watch the UFC and wonder what happens behind the scenes. And watching like the embeddeds and watching a lot of stuff with Rousey and her rise, McGregor's rise, John Jones's rise, Silva's rise, made me realize that so much is going on behind the scene that we don't know about. You can just speculate. But now I'm here and I'm negotiating with the people I used to watch. I know how the game's played, and like I said, I'm player one and I'm playing the game. Yeah.
Last one for you. I appreciate your time. Kamaru Usman fights this coming weekend for
Woo.
the welterweight title. Now, this is interesting because a Nigerian American, and obviously you're a Nigerian Kiwi, and however else you guys self-identify. Is it bittersweet because he could be the first Nigerian champ, or is it awesome
It's not
that there's
bitter at
two
all.
that could happen back-to-back months?
Hey, it's not even bitter at all. It's suya sweet. It's delicious to me because I mean, it takes nothing away from me. That's the thing. There's this crabs in the buckets mentality with people where it's like, oh, okay, I wanted to be the first Nigerian UFC champion. It's like, nah, if he becomes the first Nigerian UFC champion, his win is my win too. Not really, but it is because fuck, that's good for us. It's 180 million people and counting who are gonna hear about it, and they're gonna be ecstatic. Like now, even I saw a comment one time on my Instagram. Some guy was like, "Oh, we're all these Nigerian fans a year ago." I was like, what the fuck? Blocked. Because that kind of shit it doesn't fly with me. I'm like, people, yeah, I get it. You're a hipster. Oh, I used to follow him before he was cool, but I just don't like that kind of attitude. So yeah, Kamaru's win is good for me, and I'll happily take being the second Nigerian UFC champion. So I don't. There's no shade. There's no bitter. That's that crabs in the bucket mentality. This whole world is cursed with. People think there's like a finite amount of goodness, of money or whatever, or fame or clout, or they think it's finite, but no, it's infinite. If you want yours, go get it. It's out there, and no one's shine is taken away from yours because it's infinite. Seriously, it's like self-love. It's infinite.
Israel Adesanya, looking forward to seeing your fight in April. Thank you so much.